Hey everybody, got some sad news, but I mean it's sad, but I'm looking at the bright side, and I'll tell you what the bright side is at the end of this video. Um, I lost my final beehive. This is the end of my first year as a beekeeper. My first hive, which I did get some honey from this year, which is pretty awesome as a first year hive. But I lost my first hive to varroa mites. My second hive here had plenty of honey for the winter, but they died very recently. It's March, it's just the very beginning of March, so if they could have made it just a little bit further, I think they would have survived. I'm going to show you what the bees look like right now. I guess this may be called a dead out. The bees are all dead. Some of the bees are literally still on the frames. I'm going to show you the inspection, and then I'm going to tell you what I think happened. And then I'm going to do a little bit of extra investigation in a second video to see if I'm right or not. So let's go ahead and open up the hive. As you can see, I'm not wearing safety gear because the bees are dead. Here's one of the last of my bees, and it's gonna be a little bit harder to see because I already did an inspection to check on them. So some of the bees aren't on the frame anymore, but literally a lot of the bees are just suspended on the frames. Here's another good example. The bees are just literally suspended, a lot of them. No bees. No bees. Plenty of honey though. A few dead bees. Plenty of honey again. Plenty of honey. So they did not die from starvation, hopefully. Though I guess clusters can die and have plenty of honey still and literally be a frame away, and it'd be so cold that they can't get to the honey. I'm actually looking for eggs right now. Here's some old larvae. It's hard to see, but there's larvae in here. Now, since it's cold, I don't know if that, I mean, this larva looks like it's decomposing pretty well, so I can't really make an estimate off of that based off of when my queen was last alive. Here's a few bees, dead of course. let's open up this, see if we can, there's some dead larvae. Again though, plenty of honey. So there are actually a lot of dead bees here. Some of this is expected, even for winter bees. They only live a certain amount of time, and in the winter time, the other bees tend to not clean the hive as much because there's not as many bees, and then in the spring they do a larger cleanup. So you are expected, from what I've read and talked to about bees to people, you are expected to have some dead bees at the bottom in the winter. But this is a large amount. So, a lot of dead bees. They were alive about a week and a half ago. And again, I had some bees alive. I've had some dead bees on the bottom for a while now. But I still had bees alive. This is what I think happened. And if you have a comment or if you have a theory, please let me know in the comments below. It has been very rainy where I live in the mountains of North Carolina. We've had over 100 inches of rain in the last 6 months. Normally we have about 40 inches of rain. I mean, it's been raining literally every day for hours upon hours. It was raining this morning. The last week it's rained 6 out of 7 days. And bees are a lot more susceptible to moisture than they are to cold temperatures, is what I've been learning and reading. So I think the moisture buildup really got to the bees. Even when I picked up some of those dead bees, they felt pretty wet actually. So I think the moisture probably did them in. And also we had just a really unusual cold snap for March just 2 days ago. I believe it got down to 12 degrees, which is pretty cold, especially since it was so warm a week or so ago. It was like 74 or something. So I think maybe that cold snap also did them in. That was about 3 days ago. This is my first year as a beekeeper, so some of it may be inexperience. But I don't think it's that as much either, because I have several beekeeping friends that have been beekeepers for close to a decade, and they lost most of their hives in my area this year as well. So part of it is learning. Part of it is, I think it was a tough year for beekeepers in North Carolina. But I don't see this as a failure necessarily. This is my first year as a beekeeper, and I'm still getting bees. In about a month, I'm getting 2 more packages. And I've just learned so much in this first year. And I feel like you got to have those growing pains in order to become a better beekeeper. And I now have plenty of drawn comb, and I have honey stores that I can feed back to my bees. So my new bees are not going to have to draw that much comb this year. So that's a lot less work they have to do. So they'll hopefully be able to get more established and have larger hives this year. So even though both of my hives died, I am looking at the bright side. My second year is going to be a lot easier. I've learned so much. There is one thing I'm going to do. I'm going to take about 300 bees, the dead bees, and I'm going to do an alcohol wash. And I'm going to see if mites might have been a factor with this hive as well. So if you want to see that, the next video is probably going to be about an alcohol wash for mites. So thanks for tuning in, and if you're a beekeeper, don't give up. I'm not giving up. And have a great day.